allows them to get a better start, correct?
Right, that's correct.
You might say a lot of...
Okay, now we're going to place the tree in the hole and just sort of giving it an eyeball approximate guess here. It looks like the hole is about the right width, a couple of times wider than the actual ball. And Stephanie is helping me out to see if the hole is too deep, and it looks like it's about right. We don't, like Stephanie mentioned about the flare root, you don't want to have that too deep into the hole, and it looks just like we've got the hole about the right depth.
So we want to be sure that the tree is level and in the direction that we want to plant it, and then as we fill the hole with soil, we will start adding a little water to make the soil moist down below. We're demonstrating with the hose here that you just start a little trickle. You don't need to drown it, but add a little bit of water. And we've got some pails of water here that we can start adding some water to it. Once you plant, you'll want to water on a regular basis for the first week, making sure that the soil is moist. And then after the first week, you want to add water as it's needed. You know, maybe once a week, but if we're in a drought conditions, you may need to water it more frequently. But that's to allow those roots to get established early on. We want to get the air bubbles out. You could do that by this, but you don't want to stomp on the tree as you're planting it. That's another mistake. You could damage the root system. It is important, however, to have enough soil in there so it doesn't settle too much. So that's another thing to look at. Now, when you're planting, you want to do a little ring, not too large, but enough ring so you're going to hold the moisture in around the tree. And again, in our clay soil, our clay doesn't hold a lot of, our clay holds a lot of moisture, so you don't want to drown the tree, but you certainly want to have enough water. After the first week and the next several months, you want to keep it moist. Once it goes dormant, you don't need to keep it watered. November, December, you can start using off all of the water because the tree is going to be going dormant. Now, one of the things we didn't talk about is the best time to plant a tree. Best time is when the trees go dormant. We're nearing that time, but really the best time to plant a tree is after the trees drop their leaves and before the ground freezes. So you can plant Kansas sometimes even into late November, early December, just depending on how our soil is looking. But once it freezes, then you don't want to plant. I'm going to talk a little bit about staking the tree. And in Kansas, we want to stake in the north-south because that's how our prevailing winds are. So we've got a few stakes here, and we will pound these in at an angle this way. And we want to stake the tree low enough to allow the top part of the tree to move, because that's going to strengthen the root system. So we want to mulch the tree. We've got some mulch here. I'm going to just dump some around here. 3 to 4 inches of mulch around the tree. We do not want to get right up to the oopsie. We don't want to get right up against the tree trunk because that the mulch will encourage bugs to get up and they may infest the tree trunk. So we want to get up close enough to it to provide that moisture. The tree board is produced preferred trees for Bel Aire, and it is a subset of the preferred trees of south central Kansas. What we did is we went through those preferred trees and chose trees that would grow better in clay soil. And you can be found on the city of Bel Aire city website, www.belaireks.org. We also want to show you trees for the south central Kansas. This was produced by the Kansas State Extension Office. The Master Gardeners produced this publication, and it's available over at the Extension Office. A small price to pay, but it shows colored pictures of all of the trees that are preferred in the south central Kansas. They also have an arboretum over there that you can do a walking tour to actually see what the trees look like before you buy. So it's a great opportunity to see how trees grow, what they look like in Kansas.